Are you frustrated about weight loss? Are you unable to lose the weight that you want? And are you curious as to why you can't lose weight? In this video, I want to talk about why you might not be able to lose weight. And there's a lot of reasons. So get set. So one of the first reasons why you can't lose weight might be because you are a chronic dieter. And what happens when you diet, typical diets call for calorie reduction, and our body is so efficient, it just gets used to running on less energy. So you become metabolically adapted. So that might be one reason why you're not losing weight, especially if you are like if you tend to yo-yo diet, you're on a diet, you're off a diet. What happens is with that metabolic adaptation, your body gets more efficient at using the energy. Then so let's say you start at 1100 calories and then you go to 1000 calories, then you go to 800 calories, then you get sick of dieting and you go back up to 1100 calories. Well, your body is used to using 800 calories, so that 300 calories is now a surplus. So you tend to gain weight eating even less, or what you were before, which is very, very discouraging. Another reason why you might not be losing weight is you might have the wrong macros or incorrect macros. And by macros, I mean carbohydrates, protein, and fats. So if you don't have the right combination of those macros, that might be the reason why you're not losing weight. Typically, women tend to be very low in protein. So that's one of the things I get my clients to do right away is increase their protein. Another thing is low quality food. If you eat a lot of processed, boxed, and bagged foods, your body might be filled with inflammation, and your body doesn't process some of those foods as efficiently, and it really slows down your weight loss. You may be dehydrated. I didn't even add that to the list. I just thought of that, is that dehydration can slow down weight loss as well. So simply drinking more water aids in weight loss. Now, sedentary living also slows down weight loss. There's a lot to be said for NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis. So that's just movement. There's studies that show that even those people that fidget tend to be leaner than those people that are really laid back. So I'm not suggesting that you need to fidget, but sedentary living can really slow down weight loss. So, just movement and exercise obviously is going to help with exercise. Now, there's a caveat to that, and that is over-exercise. So I do have some clients that I actually ask to pump the brakes on exercise, because that has to do with cortisol levels. And so if you have skyrocketing cortisol levels. Cortisol is that hormone that packs on the belly fat. And so sometimes over-exercise, any exercise or stress can, especially hard exercise, the body can view that as stress, and you can have a stress response with over-exercise. So you have to be really careful. Sometimes I talked the other day about adding more parasympathetic exercise, like yoga, meditation, walking in nature, just more of those NEAT, non-exercise activity, thermogenic exercise or movement to help calm those cortisol levels, because cortisol, the stress hormone, can pack on the belly fat. That can be a reason you're not losing weight. Lack of sleep as well can boost up those cortisol levels, and that's going to be an issue with weight loss as well. Now, your insulin levels could be out of control. So insulin, you can't lose weight in the presence of insulin. And so that has to do with food timing, what you're eating when. But there's some easy hacks to change so that you can moderate those insulin levels. A lot of women that I work with are insulin resistant. So there's tricks and timing as to when to eat things. We're more insulin sensitive earlier in the day. Women over 40, we need to have very high quality carbohydrate, because we just can't process those low quality carbs as easily as we could in our 20s. So a lot of people confuse menopause with things like insulin resistance and hypothyroidism. And while we can't change our changing hormones like estrogen and but we can change cortisol and insulin. We can have we can be in control of those things to a certain extent with some lifestyle and nutrition hacks. So lack of consistency is another reason why you might not be losing weight. And it's just that you need to stick with something. There's a lot of people that program hop, that well, I'm going to try this. Well, you try it for a week or two and you don't see a response. So you try something else. And so you really have to try something with 100% effort, or as close to 100% effort as you can, for about 30 days to see if that will work for you. So lack of consistency can be an issue. Misinformation is a big issue, and it's not your fault, but there's a lot of things coming at you trying to determine what's the best thing to do. One of the common misinformation way people are misinformed is they're kind of taking the idea of keto. It's like, well, I need to have high fat. So they increase their fats, but then they don't decrease their carbs. And so in doing so, they just carbs and fat are the magic formula for gaining fat. So we have to be really careful with, not kind of getting half of this protocol and half of that protocol and mixing it up, because that can really be an issue. And don't get me started on keto, because I went on a rant on that, and wow, keto is not a diet, it's a religion, it turns out to be. Another problem can just be lack of support. There's a lot of, it's tough going it alone, and sometimes just having someone or a group in your corner to help you so that you know that you're not alone is really helpful. And yes, you really feel like keto is for you, Anthony. I think not. Very funny. Trying to do too much too soon is an issue as well, because sometimes people get bent on being healthy. And so what happens is they go on a diet and they, start exercising, and they need to meditate, and they start a journal, and, they stop gambling. Well, they should probably not be gambling, but do you know what I mean? They just do way too much. And so in an effort to do too much, by Wednesday, they're ordering out for, pizza, and they're on the couch with a beer. Not really, but you're setting yourself up for failure. So just taking those micro steps, micro changes, that's what's going to really help you go the distance, so that, you don't really feel like you're sacrificing, you're not feeling deprived, but by making those small changes makes a big difference. I call it the Choose Your Change Challenge, where 1 week you might just add water. The next week you might add a few more vegetables, but you just make these small micro changes, and over the course of time, it makes a huge, huge difference. Another thing that might be an issue is that it makes me sad, especially when I go into a big box gym and I see the same people doing the same thing and hoping for different results. And I do believe that's the definition of insanity. But, we don't notice these things because sometimes, you don't see the whole picture when you're in the frame. Sometimes you need someone to point that out to you. Now, a problem for some is that they're not eating enough. There's so many of the women that I'm working with, they're not eating enough and their metabolism is tanked, so we need to boost up the metabolism. And then there's other people that are possibly eating too much, or eating for the wrong reasons, because nutrition is so much more than just, quantity and quality. It's all tied to, our youth and our history and our relationships and social settings. So sometimes just managing your life as to, how can I get the food prep that I need to get done? How am I going to handle this party? How am I going to handle the staff meeting or whatever? So a lot of times it's we're not eating enough, or we're eating too much, or we're eating the wrong things at the wrong time. So I understand how frustrating it is when you can't lose weight. And sometimes it's hard for you to see what the issue is. I know for myself, before I had a nutrition coach, I didn't even, I am a nutrition coach, but I couldn't reflect on my own journey without those outside eyes. So sometimes just having those outside eyes, taking a look at what's going on, really helps you, because there are many reasons to be frustrated with your lack of weight loss. So I'd be happy to help. DM me if you need those outside eyes, especially if you're a woman over 40, over 50. I mean, that's the bulk of my clients, because I never thought, being 55 would be, such advantageous, but it helps to have walked a mile, probably several miles in your shoes. And so I'm happy to help be those outside eyes for you. On Instagram, just pop me a DM. And on Facebook, I'll have a link for you. And let's make those baby steps, those micro changes. I promise that, the good news that for many of my clients is that it's not a matter of eating less. So many people are relieved that they get to eat a little bit more and they're feeling so much better. My job, as I see it, is to educate you, help you see what fuels your body the best, and what makes you feel the best. We want to heal the metabolism, heal you from the inside out. When your insides are healthy, then it's more likely that you're going to drop that weight, because your body doesn't really want to have that excess weight. It has, we were not meant to be overweight. So let me help. Pop me a DM, and I will see you next time.